Hello, Gamebook World. It's Stuart Lloyd again. Talking about Call of Khalris. Yeah, I'm doing it on my drives to and from work. So here's my drive from work. So what shall I talk about today? I've done character creation. I've done the diary. Oh, the cheat score. That was another mechanic that I introduced. Well, people loved it. A lot of people loved it. Some people didn't quite see the point of it. I don't think anyone hated it. I think it was easier to ignore than the diary. So I think people who didn't want to do it just ignored it. So which is why it didn't get so much of a negative response. Which is what someone put in. They just ignored it. Didn't see the point of it play. One person raised a very valid point that how are you not supposed to think of another game book if I mention Crypt of the Sorcerer in the cheat score table, which is a very good point. I wasn't being specifically mean, I just about it. So in theory everyone should have a cheat score of 2 at least, I think, because they were thinking of another game book while playing mine. How very rude. You should be thinking of other game books, but play a game book while playing my game book. So yeah, so why did I do it? Well, the cheat score was actually the last thing I inserted. I got up to 38 pages and I thought, is there some kind of mechanic I could put in to to take up the last 2 pages? And then I was reading a few blog posts, and they all seem to all comment on blogs, and there just seems to be the theme that week about how just everybody cheats in game books anyway. So why make them that difficult? Everyone sticks their finger in the page. Yeah, why don't we turn game book cheating into some kind of measurable thing? So that's what I did. So I wanted it to sort of get into the mentality of a game book player. So cheating is keeping your finger on the page, making sure you don't die, skipping ahead. That's something everyone does in game books, especially people who've grown up on extremely difficult game books like Death Trap Dungeon and Crypt of the Sorcerer. It's you cheat all the time. And the good thing about cheating in game books, it doesn't annoy anyone. Because it's not like you're being unfair to anyone. As I said before, it seems the theme of these analyses is that in a book you should just let the reader or player, in the case of a game book, reader/player, approach the book as they damn well please. I remember someone writing a post on a comment on a blog saying, I like reading game books from the paragraph 1 to the end paragraph. And I know game books aren't supposed to be read like that, but if this person's getting enjoyment and fulfillment out of reading the paragraphs in game book order, I think their reason was because they feel like they didn't get very much mileage out of their game book because they're only reading a certain portion of it. Obviously they've not felt like they've wasted their money. The author's not around to, it's not like the author's going to be there and you're going to be annoying them about it. The author's not there. So the reader's happy. The author's happy because they've got more publicity and more money from the reader buying their game book, and yeah, it's all great. So, I can't remember what the point was now. Yeah, so yeah, the cheat score. Yeah, do whatever you like. Yeah, people cheat all the time in game books, especially if they're it doesn't matter how hard you make the rules, you can't stop people cheating. So making really difficult rules, making game books super difficult is the best has no effect, and the worst is very frustrating. Which is why, after thinking like that, I've decided that I'm going to only include, I'm never going to say I'm never going to do anything because I want them all to be options to me just in case. But I'm going to think very hard before I include secret paragraphs and little riddles where you have to work out the number, because I know what happens because I do it. If you don't get the riddle, you'll just flick through the book. What's happened? No one appreciates how clever your riddle is, They all they do is get annoyed because they're spending time flicking through a book and possibly spoiling their enjoyment of other things. So I'll maybe keep secret paragraphs down to a minimum. In a more timely fashion. It's cheating. So that's what cheating's supposed to be. Why bother cheating if it's not? Why bother cheating if it's not expedient or doesn't save time and effort? You know, there's no point in cheating if you've got to put effort into cheating. So family today, long day. So the whole point is people are going to cheat whatever and make it difficult for them because all you're going to do is frustrate them. So yeah, so the cheat score works okay. It was a kind of use it if you want, ignore it if you don't kind of thing, so it didn't actually annoy anyone as much as the diary. After reading Final Payment, which is the winning entry, I actually think that did it better. Now, the way Final Payment did it was you had a certain amount of money and you could spend money to do things that gamebook cheaters would normally do. So you could spend money to look ahead, you could spend money to re-roll a die. So it's kind of legalising cheating. I was just like, you're going to cheat anyway, you might as well see how big a cheater you are. He turns cheating, Zachary properly turns cheating into a game mechanic. So if I did it again, I would have some kind of resource that you need to spend to cheat. So you can't just cheat as much as possible and just see how big it is. I think it would be like, yeah, it'd be like a resource that you've got to spend a certain amount of money or power points or just something, you know. I had the idea that maybe cheating could be like magic, okay, because you can look ahead in the future, that's magic, and that's my take on it. That's my take on the cheat score. So I think it works okay. I think it was done better by Final Payment. And another good thing about this cheat score is it's transferable from book to book, or this kind of legalised cheating. So Final Payment is also, because these are things that happen in every book, sort of looking ahead a page, re-rolling dice if there are dice. Okay, these are universal mechanics in game books, so it's like, so I could turn it into a fantasy version and have magic points, where you spend magic points to dice, etc., and peek ahead. Okay, obviously in Final Payment, it was a sort of a sci-fi version where you'd spend money on a... All good. There, I think.